Anything else. Oh, happy days. Oh. Today, I am reminded of Cosmo Kramer when he goes, "Who wants fun?" We're gonna have some fun today. Start out with TJ Jones from Bellator. And we are going to get him pulled up. I got to get all these adjustments made. Oh, there he is. Technology. To me today. There he is, live and in living colors, the American Dream, Dusty Rose. TJ Jones. I would normally say the biggest star in the business, but usually when I say the biggest star in the business, I'm using that as realistically, this guy is the biggest star in the business right now. You have seen him on television, Skype. We tried Facebook Live today. That didn't work out so well. But that's only worked out well 2 times for me. So in all fairness, it's not his fault. It's my fault because I'm an idiot. But TJ Jones joins us today here on the old Skype-a-rooney, the old Skip Skype. And TJ, first of all, one of the things I love about you, brother, besides the whole thing with, you fighting a Jack Swagger of all people, which I think is just, first of all, him fighting MMA to me is totally ridiculous. But you and all your stuff, brother, you are great. Tell me a little bit about.
Hey, I don't know if you can hear me, but you're breaking up really bad. I can't understand what you're saying, boss.
Okay, hold on. Let me make some microphone adjustments here, and we will see.
All right. We'll make this work, I swear.
We will make this work. If we have to go audio and do it radio-wise, we'll do it audio-wise. That's fine.
That'll
have that. Now, TJ, talk to me a little bit about, first of all, getting the call to be involved in all this with Bellator.
Yeah, I was sitting around not doing anything, and my manager called me one day out of the blue and said, look, Bellator called. And I keep telling people, when Bellator calls, you have to answer that phone call regardless of what the opportunity is.
That's awesome. It's that simple, baby. It's that simple. Fantastic.
Yeah, for sure.
We've got TJ Jones with us today. He, of course, recently competed at Bellator MMA. He fought Jack Swagger or Jack Hager or Jake Hager or the man of 1,000 gimmicks. I thought was Dean Malenko, but apparently it is Jack Swagger.
That was a man of 1,000 holds, right?
Man of 1,000 holds, yes indeed. That's awesome. I'm glad you're a wrestling fan. I think that's awesome. Yeah. So, talk to me about the experience of, getting the call and a couple days before the fight. I know you've got to get on a plane, go out there, do weigh-ins, do medical, physicals, all these things. Just bring us up to speed, because there's a lot of people in our audience, including myself, who will never, ever get to that level.
There's no way you'll ever see me on that kind of platform. But, it's just pretty much regular,
Somebody. Well, she's probably upset because she's not being interviewed. And in all fairness, I would be upset too if I was her. Right. But go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
No, it was just pretty much regular fight week stuff. You got to make sure you're on weight. When I took the fight, I was 330 pounds February 20th. So my main concern this entire camp was making sure I cut down to the 265-pound weight limit. And, I had to do some drastic things to get there. But when you're a professional, you have to make sure you we got there. And, other than that, other than the media, there wasn't a whole bunch of stuff that was different. And then, of course, the big names. And, the big names on the card just were incredibly humble. And they were super nice. Easier for me to be able just to really be myself.
Well, I'll tell you that the mental warfare of this stuff is always what I find funny. What did you what was some of the mental warfare that you wanted to do that you didn't do? And then talk to us about the stuff that you did do, like the we the people, it doesn't matter, all these things.
Well, I was a wrestling fan up until about 2002 or 2003, and my favorite all-time wrestler was The Rock. And he used to cut people off, and he would scream, "It doesn't matter." You'd ask someone's name, and they'd say, "Well, my name is." It doesn't matter what your name is. So the whole it doesn't matter was all for The Rock, man. That was a shout out to him.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, and as far as everything else, the mental warfare, there really wasn't any mental warfare on my part. It was just me being me. You know, I always enjoy kind of talking a little bit before the fight, kind of getting everybody interested in my fight. And I have a bad habit of fighting guys in their hometown that have bigger names than me. But at the end of the fight, whether I win or lose, they're going to be talking about me. And if people continue to talk about me, I'll continue to be a ticket seller, and promoters will want me on their show.
Yes.
Since I retired back in 2017, I can name you, oh man, probably about 30 to 40 fights that I've been offered. It goes as far as from ESPN fights to HBO fights to fighting Olympic gold medalist and bronze medalist from the, in the heavyweight division. I've just been offered so many different opportunities, and I think it's more than just because, I'm a tough guy. I have some losses on my record, and I can accept that, but I make every fight a fight, regardless of how my name. And if you don't know my name, or if you're not giving me a standing ovation after the fight, then I didn't do my job, win or lose.
That's awesome. It is TJ Jones. He joins us today here on our big program, and he is fantastic. I loved his whole demeanor, the fact that he's one of these guys who's having fun with all this stuff. There is so many of these fighter guys who they're not having fun, brother. You had fun from the time you got there till the time it was over, to even afterwards taking pictures with people. You had a blast. I think that's awesome. You put in the time, you put in the effort, and then you had fun. Talk to us about all that.
Oh, first off, it's like I just said, fans are what keeps this sport going, any sport, So, you have to give back to them. I just feel like, this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And when you're blessed with a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, you can't go in there with a sore attitude or, it's me versus the world, because it wasn't me versus anybody. It wasn't me who gave myself this opportunity. It was my manager and then the fans that started talking about me. And then, it was social media. And whether it was the good stuff or the bad stuff, because I saw a whole bunch of bad stuff. But honestly, everybody has an opinion, and every opinion has value. So if I put myself in a position where everyone can see me, there's going to be some hate, there's going to be some negativity. And I love that just as much as the other stuff, because no matter what you're saying about me, my name is still in your mouth, so I'm doing my job.
That's fantastic. TJ Jones with us today. Broadcast, and of course he joins us here on Skype, and talk to one of the things that I just absolutely cannot stand about fighters, and it's not fighters, it's pro wrestlers, it's all these guys. They get around these people, and one of the things that I loved about you is that you put up a picture of you and Fedor. You put up a picture of you and the guy that you just fought. And you put up, I think you had a photo with 50 Cent. And it's like, you're never, here's the thing. You're taking the risk of never meeting these guys ever again. You could have done this one fight and been done. And if you're standing around going, well, I don't look like a mark. Well, I just think it's great that you didn't let any of that crap get in your way, and you took photos and had a good time.
Oh, for sure. No, man. Well, I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan, and I understand that there are pioneers in the sport, and even today's champions, the Pat Currans and the Adrian McKees, they're turning into the pioneers of the new generation, if you will. So you have to give. No matter how much fun you're having or how crazy the press is or how many people are talking about you, you have to remember who are the people that are the reason that you're there. And the Fedors and the Hoist Gracies and the new generation, like the MVPs and the AJ McKees, they're the reason you're there. Those are the people who have put their blood, their sweat, their tears into all this, and they deserve so much respect. They deserve everything. And I tell you what, there wasn't one fighter on this card other than one. And I don't really want to say his name, but other than one, every other fighter that I spoke to, that I had an opportunity to meet, from Chael Sonnen to Fedor, they were just the most humble guys. They were as nice as can be, and they gave me their time. They gave me advice. And it was just an opportunity and a chance that I will always hold so dear to my heart.
We've got a great guest with us today. TJ Jones joins us here in our broadcast. He joins us via the magic of Skype. And he has got a heck of a lot of things going on in his life now that he's done this fight with Jack Swagger at the last Bellator show. My favorite part that a lot of people didn't pick up on until the fight was over with was the press conference part where you said something about, we got a lot of great fighters up here. Well, and then we got Jake. That was a fantastic moment. Was that just something you were doing off the cuff, or did you have that planned?
No, that was completely off the top of my head. And again, right before the fight, he did one of these things, and if I was gonna pick one time that irritated me most about the entire shoulder, and he's like, "You're really making this, taking advantages there, aren't you?" And then he kind of patted me on the head, and I was like, "Wait a minute, dude." I was like, okay, it wasn't. I don't think he was being disrespectful. I just think that he thought that I truly didn't deserve to be there, and the fight was quick. So I'm not going to say, look, my fight performance spoke for itself, because it didn't, and I understand that. However, he was only 1-0. I was 1-1. The only thing that he had outside of the wrestling world is some NCAA wrestling.
Yes.
Okay, and yeah, he holds some records and stuff, but I fought brown belts. I fought champions in boxing, and a lot of people don't know this, but I paid a lot of dues, and I wasn't going to have anybody pat me on the head and say, "Hey, look, buddy, freaking head off, dude." So I knew
That's awesome.
I knew I wanted to say something. I just didn't know if I was going to get the opportunity. And when that came out, it was almost like word vomit. It was like, there's nothing but champions up here, and then there's me, 1-1, and then there's this guy down here who's 1-0.
Yes.
So,
I think it's great. Now, explain to me your gimmick name, Tombstone. Where'd you come up with Tombstone, my friend?
My very first amateur fight back in 2008, I was almost TJ Bucket, because the
Bucket, that's awesome.
My promoter said, you have to have a nickname, and I didn't want a nickname. I was like, I'm just TJ, I don't need a nickname. He's like, you pick a nickname, or we're gonna call you TJ Bucket. And I was like, what do you mean, and I was like, I'm not gonna be TJ Bucket. He's like, then you have to come up with a nickname. So I was like, okay. So me and my dad we were watching TV, and the movie Tombstone came on, and Tombstone's my favorite Western. And on top of that, I'm a big John Wayne fan.
Yes.
And so we watch Westerns often. And I said, there's a nickname for you, just off the cusp. It was just Tombstone Jones. And my dad looked at me, and I looked at my dad, and we had one of those moments like, that's it. Like, there's the nickname.
That's awesome.
So I've been that ever since.
Fantastic. Well, I will have to say that you have put in a lot of time and the effort to take advantage of the fact that you had the publicity and the promotion and everything for this, and the fact that after this is over with, you're taking advantage of the publicity and the promotion. There are a lot of people that do not do that, so be proud of yourself, my friend.
I appreciate that.
Now, TJ Jones with us today. He joins us live here in our broadcast. Now, without revealing a lot of details, because people don't need to know, but was this like a one-fight deal, and then at the end of it, they were impressed, want to bring you back? How does some of this work without giving away too many, behind-the-scenes stuff?
Well, and that's the beauty about having such a good manager. Chris Greger is Scrap Fighter Management, man. He puts in the time for his guys, so I really don't have to do a lot.
That's
of course,
fantastic.
I'm out kind of promoting myself, and and I'm hearing all the offers, and I'll tell you, in July I'd like to box. And then I'd like to take the summer. And I only reason why I want to box is because I'm very comfortable boxing. But I'd like to take the entire summer, and I'd like to just hone my skills in MMA, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, more of the ground-based stuff, the clinch work, and all that. So as far as an MMA fight, I've already had a couple offers.
Yeah. Go ahead,
But,
brother. We just got our next guest calling, and I'm gonna put them on hold, and we'll get to them here in just a few moments. But go ahead, brother. You've got some offers. What else?
Yeah.
What else do you got in the pipeline?
No, just a few offers. I've been offered to fight on promotions like Shamrock and different some other ones and whatnot. And the name that keeps getting thrown out is J.W. Kaiser.
Yeah.
Swagger's first opponent, and it's like I told him, and he called me out on two different social media things, Twitter and Facebook.
Yes.
I'm not a matchmaker. I get the phone call. Yeah. I get the phone call, and my manager tells me who I'm fighting, and that's who I fight. So if it's Kaiser, or if it's boxing in July, or if it's Bellator in August or October or September, then that's what we're gonna do. But everything goes through my manager, and it has to get okayed through my wife. And if those two are okay with it, then I'm fighting.
That's fantastic. It is TJ Jones, and I appreciate you making time for us today. I definitely want to stay in touch, man, because you're one of the real fighters out here. You're not a guy putting up Facebook posts talking somebody else's body, and you're not talking about how you're doing 45 rounds on focus mitts, which, by the way, once you do 5 or 6, don't you get bored? Don't you run out of stuff to do? But brother, how do we find you online? How do we get involved with you and all that?
Yeah, I'm trying to convert everything on my Facebook page to my fighters page. It's TJ Tombstone Jones, or I believe it's Tombstone 620.
Perfect.
And you can like that. You can add me to Facebook. You can send me a message. I have no problem responding to anybody who sends me a message. And then on my Twitter, it's TJ Tombstone. And follow me, send me or however it is you do that. I'm still kind of new to Twitter. And I'll interact with you, talk to you, have no problem doing all that kind of stuff, man. It's part of the game, and I love it.
Good stuff. Well, I appreciate you making time for us today, and I guess we will get to our next guest who is calling. So, TJ, I appreciate you making time, brother, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you, man.
Hey, man, thank you so much. I appreciate the time, guys.
Appreciate it, man. There he goes, TJ Jones, and we are going to take a break. And when we come back, we have got more coming up, and I guess we've got our next guest patiently waiting on the phone. Hopefully they patiently wait. And we'll be back after this. After a quick commercial break, we've got more coming up on the other side.